What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Chazz Ellis once again. All right, today we're gonna talk about a whole lot of little things, a few different things about relationships, right? So, a lot of people ask me when I'm doing consultations with them, or when I'm just doing videos. People ask me in the comment sections. People ask me all the time, what's going on with relationships? Why have they become the way they are? Why are they so bad? Why is it that you can't get with anybody anymore? You can't make anything work out with anybody anymore. You can't really build with anybody anymore. People just dump people so quickly and easily. Marriages don't last any time. As we know, the average marriage is like 5 years. And what's going on? The divorce rate just keeps going up. Even when it seems like it's going to even out again, it kind of keeps going up. And you have people fighting over kids, people fighting over uh, assets, fighting over friends, fighting over dogs now. I saw a court case where people were fighting over the dog. I mean, they going at it, spending money on lawyers, all kind of stuff, fighting over the dog. Um, it was two dogs they were fighting over. And I'm like, dang, why can't they just split the dogs? Each person get one. But I guess that's crazy. They ain't want to split the dogs up. Like, okay, whatever. But you see this all the time, and it's like, well, what's going on? There are a few reasons why you see relationships going the way that they're going now, and we really got to go back if we really want to understand what's happening now. We have to go back. I'm a person that's really big on history. I love history because it's really the study of history is really the study of the future. When you look at what happened in the past, you can usually get a good gauge of what's going to happen again at some point in time. Because most of the time, the world moves in cycles just like people do. And when we look at what's happening now, we have to go back and we have to look at why relationships worked in the first place, or even why people got in relationships. Why do you see two people get together and decide to build some type of life? Why? What's the point of that, right? So, what ended up happening a long time ago in the past, let's not go too far back though. Let's go 100 years. Let's talk about 1924. In 1924, you had utility. Both people actually physically needed one another in order to build their lives and be comfortable. That is not the case in 2024 because a lot of things have been automated and outsourced. So in 1924, you and I get married. Everything is cool, lovey-dovey, all that type of stuff. We get married. There's some things we're not really going to argue over. You're not going to argue. We just regular people. We not balling rich, killing the world. We regular people with regular ass jobs. Okay? You're not going to be arguing to take my job. I'm not going to be arguing to take yours. So if you're in the house cooking, it's not like you're popping something in the microwave. It's not like they got ready-made sauces. It's not like food is pretty much 75% prepared and then you just got to do the rest. It's not like if I go to my job, uh, everything is automated. I'm on the computer doing my thing. It's not like that. I'm probably working in a coal mine, at a factory. I might be a garbage man. I'm actually lifting the garbage cans. I'm over here with them all day. You're not fighting to take that job. You're not like, oh, equality, let me get that job. I want to lift garbage cans all day. Nobody wants those jobs. Nobody wants to be at home with no washing machine washing clothes and hanging them up by hand. Nobody wants that job. And no one person could do both jobs by themselves. That's the key. There's no way you could go out lift garbage cans by hand all day. I mean, picking the mugs up, turning them over and throwing them. You know, it used to be like my dad. This is even before him, but he used to talk about like his stepfather and other guys that he would see. They would be garbage men, and they would be buff. They'd be huge. You know what I'm saying? Their hands would be strong as hell. You know, because they would be physically picking up garbage and putting it in the thing. Some people still kind of do that. If you go to a third world country, you see that a lot more, but it's not really a first world country thing. It used to be if your car popped a tire, you had to get down and physically crack, you know, the bolts on that. You could now just take it, you know, it's a whole different ball game. The jacks work better. It used to be nobody wanted to mow the line because you had a push mower. Now, when you think push mower, you thinking vroom, vroom, vroom. Nah, bro. I'm talking about. I remember one time my grandmother had me mow, and it was a little plot, but she had me mow the grass with one of them push mowers that just. Man, I about called children's services. I was like, 13th Amendment, Granny, this is crazy. I'm not doing it. So the world was a different place at that time. The world was a completely different place at that time. And people physically needed one another. So when a relationship had its ups and downs, even how you picked people, it was a totally different ball game. When a relationship had its ups and downs, you didn't go, you know what, I'm out. I'm about to go ahead and break up with this person and move on and live my life. I can do bad by myself. People didn't have that attitude because it was like, wait a minute. So I'll be washing my own clothes, right? Yeah. So what do I got to do? Scrub down. Hang everything up. Got to come home, make everything from scratch. Now, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to ride it out with old girl. A lot of women be like, you know what? I don't want to do some of these jobs. I'm going to ride it out with old boy. I'm straight. And that's why you saw people stick together a lot more. Was it that the relationships were so much better in terms of just how they functioned every day in day-to-day life? No, people just didn't expect as much because they were getting enough out of the relationship itself. The utility was there. Nowadays, because the utility isn't there, people don't even look at what you get from a relationship on even an emotional basis or a personal basis, right? People are still trying to function in relationships in the same way they would in 1924 when the utility isn't there anymore. So I see people all the time where they're like, yeah, you know, if the girl can't cook and clean, I don't want her. I'm better off by myself. And it's like, damn, bro, is it really that big of a deal if the person can really cook? Is it really that big of a deal if the person can clean, when you could just make enough money and you could pay for those things yourself and still have a cool relationship with somebody you like? Is it really that much of a deal if the dude can pay all your bills when there are plenty of good jobs out there that don't really require a whole lot of heavy lifting or hard work, that you can make enough money to pay your own bills? People don't think like that though, because they're still influenced by what had to happen 100 years ago, 50 years ago. It's kind of like how we communicate with each other now. So pretty much nowadays, everybody has a cell phone. Not every single person in the world, but pretty much everybody has a cell phone, right? If we were having the same conversation in 1984, nobody would have one. You get what I'm saying? Nobody would have a cell phone. And if they did, it would be this big and the minutes would be ridiculous. They couldn't even talk to anybody. They'd be on their cell phone just fronting because they couldn't even talk to anybody because your cell phone bill would be like $2,000. Nowadays, the world has changed to the point where people who live in third world countries have cell phones. And they're not even the rich people in the third world country. They just regular ass people. So the way we communicate with each other has changed. Now, if you're sitting in a room with like 10, 20, 30 people in it, instead of people having a feeling of, oh, we got to hang out together, we got to be around each other, we got to talk to each other, we got to connect with each other. Now people just get on their phone and talk to somebody. Now people just text somebody. Now people just get on social media and talk to their friends. It's a whole different ball game. The utility of dealing with human beings has changed in every possible way. And that has caused a major disconnect in humanity. All right, y'all make sure y'all hit my Cash App, Ask Chazz. Also, yo, go to ChazzEllis.com and get some of my premium videos. They're on sale right now. How to Get Them to Chase You is one of the most favorite ones that a lot of people have checked out. Some of y'all asked me how to be more desirable in the open market, how to get people to treat you a little bit better. That video is one of them ones. Let's go to the comments and we're going to check out and see what some of y'all are saying right now. I'm going to give a few shout outs. What's up, Tish? Thank you. You are heard and seen. Thank you. You too. What's up, Latasha? I see you. Y'all didn't know that I was on here last time yesterday, did y'all? Robots will be taking over since humans are so terrible at love. You saying that, as my grandmother used to say, you saying that for a joke, but I don't know. They might be. Things have changed significantly, for sure. The reason why, when we look at these relationships now, and just even look at yourself, for most of you, if you've been in a relationship, right, most of the time you have so much outside influence. And this is one of the things I also put as one of the reasons. We have so much more outside influence because we have social media. It used to be a time when you would get in a relationship with somebody. The only people who would have any input on your relationship would be you and the people who were immediately connected to you, who knew the person that you were in a relationship with. Now, we live in a world where me and you could be in a relationship together and we can involve the whole damn world. We don't even got to be famous. We don't have to be well known in any way, shape, or form, and we can involve the whole damn world in our relationship. Cousins, brothers, sisters, and then we can go outside and involve people in other countries that we've never even met before. And we can get feedback, positive, negative. We can talk about each other. We could even go find an echo chamber of people who just agree with us. If I could go off on you for burning the eggs. And I might talk to my mama or my grandmother or my mom or my dad or my uncles or somebody like that, and they were like, you was tripping a little bit, you probably shouldn't have did that. If it was a long time ago before you had social media, there'd be no way for me to go find other people. I can go find some friends. They'd be like, you might have been wrong for that. They know you and they know me. But now I don't have to do that. I can say, man, I went off on an old girl for burning the eggs. I want to hear that I'm right. Let me get up on that social media. Let me go find a little group. Now I can go find an echo chamber of people who are mad at their girl for burning the eggs. You can go cheat on me with my best friend. Oh, thank you, Latasha, for hitting my Cash App. Appreciate you. You the realest. You the real MVP. Nowadays, I can go find my little group. Or what was I talking about? I was saying, if you're a woman, you can cheat on me with my best friend. Cheat on me with the homie. All your friends and family. Oh, that's cold, man. Why you do him like that? You was wrong for that. Why you do him like that? You was disrespectful. You don't like what your friends and family are saying. You don't like what the people in the neighborhood are saying. You don't like what the people that you know are saying. So guess what you do? You go find a little group on social media. Boop, 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 boop. Cheated on my man with his best friend. And you'll find thousands and millions of people even who have done the same thing and don't want to be accountable. Now they're going to sit here and give all the reasons why what you did was right. So when we deal with relationships, there used to be a time where you had real third-party perspective for every single thing you did. You had friends, family members, you had people who knew both of you. This was a real thing. Now we live in a world where you don't have that anymore. There is no third party perspective because you get to choose the third party. They don't have to be your friends. They don't have to be your family. They don't have to be people who know the pastor, the imam. They don't have to be any of that. Oh, Philly loves Chazz Ellis. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all can send me these chats and stuff like that too. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for sending me the stickers and everything. Much love. Everything is appreciated. But now we can pick our third party. We can pick them. And when you can pick your third party, the thing that you run into is you don't have to be accountable anymore. So when we deal with these relationships with each other, we can just go find people to tell us that we are right. That's what social media basically did. Also, social media made it to where now when we look at relationships, we're not looking at anybody's real relationship. In life, they say comparison is the thief of joy. And yes, it is the thief of joy, for sure. But we do need a certain amount of comparison just so we can have some understanding of where things are supposed to be. You don't know how tall you are until you're around other people. Like you're like, am I tall? Am I short? Am I medium? You gotta be around some folks. You don't know if you're eating crazy unless you see other people's table manners. You get what I'm saying? So you gotta see a little bit of other people. But the problem that social media has created is now you're looking at people's relationships and they showing the highlights. These are not people you know in real life. So you see their relationship, you see the high highs, and you see low lows for some people who just want to, be out here pranking each other, making the other person look bad. So when you look at these relationships, you start feeding off of them and thinking that this is real. Even if you were around before social media, when you see something over and over and over again, it starts to become your reality. So now we start to see these relationships with people on social media where they either going to Dubai, jet skiing, parasailing, jumping out of airplanes, and just giving up diamond rings, buying Lamborghinis. This is the relationships we see, and these people sometimes they're not even famous. They just regular ass people that just somehow got money to buy each other Lamborghinis. Somehow they in Dubai all the time. Somehow they in the south of France all the time. We don't know, but that's all we see. We see folks just living their best life 24/7. So then you look at your relationship and you like, you got people who every time they make a plate for their man, they'll go put the video out there. See, men, we look at the people who show their man buying them stuff and we think that's all there is. But we don't think about the fact that there are women who go make their man some decadent meal and they put it on the internet all the time. Ooh, I made my man this. Ooh, I made my man that. So we sitting there like, man, you making me ramen. Like, what? How many times you gonna make spaghetti, babe? You know what I'm saying? And you sitting there thinking that because you see somebody else getting steak and potatoes and making all kind of crazy, meals where they putting all kind of effort into it. Oh, look, and I made a seafood tower for him. You seeing this and you like, my girl can't even cook. The food might have been fine with you till you start watching Instagram. So this is what happens on both sides. On both sides. Oh, sometimes, her man made her this and her man made her that and she made her the greatest meal ever. You ain't never cooked me nothing. All you do is make toast. It happens on both sides. Well, dang, old girl buy her man a Lambo. Last year for Christmas, you brought me some socks. Where my Lambo at? Where my PS5? You ain't buying me no PS. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we look at these relationships on the internet and they become like a benchmark for our relationships. And then you got the other side of it where you start getting mad at things that are happening on the internet that haven't even happened in your relationship. Oh my gosh, she took all his money. Oh dang, he's sleeping with her best friend and her mama. You start thinking that this is your relationship because you're seeing it over and over and over again. You're being fed this every single day. Even if you are a reasonable person, if I sit here and show you something and I show it to you every single day, and you don't realize when you on your phone, you flipping, you're looking at these things and they just getting inside your brain every day, every single day, to where you start believing that that's reality. This is where it breaks down relationships because now you become detached from reality. It's been so long before since you've actually seen a relationship. Not happy, not sad, just a relationship. You don't, most of the time people have moved away from their parents. They don't live next to any other family members. A lot of times you're not really close with any family members, especially not older ones. So you never get to see relationships. Even your peers, you don't know one person who you actually see them in a relationship on a regular basis. If you're a couple, how many couple friends do you have? And when I say couple friends, I'm not talking about somebody who got together with this person a couple weeks ago and to get with a new person every week. I'm talking about a couple that's been together to a similar amount of time as you. Most of the time that doesn't happen. So you end up looking for social media to tell you how relationships are supposed to go and how relationships are. So this is where you get your cues from, even if you don't do it consciously. You're getting your cues from them and you're feeding that into your own relationship. So now when the relationship starts to break down, y'all are arguing with each other based on stuff that neither one of you has ever done. What you mean? I ain't never cheated on you with your best friend. What are you talking about? What you mean? I never stole money out your bank account. You watched it on social media a million times over. So now you just feel like this is going to happen in your relationship. So this is where a lot of the breakdown comes from. Let's go back to the comments and see what folks are saying. Yeah, I was on yesterday, Tish. A lot of people miss me. It's okay, though. I'm back. The outside validation is wild, for sure. That's Latasha. When I see couples post all the time, and I mean all the time, I give them a side eye. Yeah, when you see couples posting all the time, for me, and this is, look, hey, to each his own, especially if you're getting paid off of it. I'm not here trying to stop you from making your bread. But whenever I see people who post all the time, I'm always like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I use a countdown for the breakup. Because normally when people start posting all the time, they could have been together 20 years. It's like the reality TV thing. People could be together 20 years, then they get on reality TV, they break up a few years later. Whenever I see people on social media posting, I know how social media is. This is why I never post my personal life and don't get into that stuff on social media. Y'all don't see me talking about this and talking about that in my life because I think when you start bringing your life out to social media, what ends up happening is folks all want to have their opinion because they're using you in a lot of cases as somebody that basically as a proxy for themselves. Like you're their relationship. They live in their relationship through you. So now they got a whole lot to say. And this is for some of y'all out there who are posting your relationships on social media. I'm not sitting there telling you not to. I'm not telling you what to do with your life. But this is something you want to think about. Don't post everything. All right? And be fair to yourself and be fair to your partner if you're going to post on social media. You can't take stuff back after you put it out there in the world. If you post something negative about your partner, that's it. It's out there in the world. You can't later on, oh, you know what, I forgive them and, we good now, and then expect everybody else to. Just like if you tell your friend something bad about your partner, you can't expect to say things about somebody and then when you get over it and you move on, now everybody else supposed to be all buddy with them. Oh, give them kisses. No, it's not like that. That's not how life works. When you say something bad about your partner, especially when you put it out there in the world, they're going to have to hear that on a loop. And when they hear it on a loop, it's like you're insulting them over and over and over again. So even if they try to get over it and y'all try to be cool again, they're going to hear that from everybody until when they get upset at you again. And you are going to hear it from everybody. And they're going to, a lot of times, push you right back down in that space that you were in when you said it. That could have been 5 years ago. Yo, they cheated 5 years ago. We moved on. All right, I've cheated 5 times since then. Y'all keep calling this person a cheater. They just didn't put mine on social media, okay? But you know what I'm saying. But now they're known as that. So a lot of times you hear it on social media and you start getting righteous indignation. You forget that you cheated 5 times because they didn't post it. You start you start being like, yeah, you cheating dog, you dirty, you know. And then y'all have the conversation with each other, not on social media. They're like, you do realize that I didn't tell everybody you cheated 5 times. Oh yeah, I kind of, you know what? Stop bringing up old stuff. So social media can be a problem like that because it gives everybody an opportunity to put everything out there, and it also gives people an opportunity to select what they want to put out there and paint the image that they want to paint. So you got to be careful of how you watch people and what you believe, what you take in, because it can be very damning to you and your new relationship. Make sure y'all hit me on that Cash App. Ask Chazz is the Cash App, kind of like Ask Chazz Ellis, but just the Ellis cut off. Also, for some of y'all who haven't checked out any of my premium content, how to get them to chase shoes out there, it's on sale right now. It's banging. It's been one of the most popular videos for a while now, and I like it, and I want y'all to check it out because it's really good for every walk of life, even if it's not a relationship. If you're even talking about your professional life, it's real good for that too, because ultimately relationships usually break down into either you doing the chasing or you being chased. No matter how you want this equal everything is everything type of thing, that doesn't really happen. If you had a job, they either want you real bad at that job or you really want that job. That's how it goes. And that's the way whatever agreement y'all have is going to play out. All right, so make sure y'all check that out. All right, let me go back to the comments, check y'all out a little bit, see what's going on. Yeah, breakup is coming in. Oh, what's up, Simply Deep 1985? Yeah, what's up with you, man? I'm doing good. I can't complain at all. If you in the building, man, let me know. Say what's up to me. Whoever's here, let me know what's going on. So once again, you didn't have goofy questions. Those were good questions, man. A lot of people got something out of it. A lot of times when y'all ask these questions on here, you got to understand they're your questions that you think you're the only person with. And they're your question that you might feel like, man, I might feel a little weird asking this. But I want y'all to understand that so many people are going through the same things that you're going through. And when you ask these questions, you give other people the freedom to do the same. There's a poem, it's called Our Deepest Fear. And y'all give me the author of that because I forgot. But my favorite part in that poem is when it says, as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. And when we ask questions, when we search ourselves, we give other people permission to do the exact same thing. We give other people permission to speak on things that they've been wanting to speak on. When we talk about things that have happened to us in our past, we give other people permission to do that same thing. When we face our demons, we give people permission to do the exact same thing. Most of the time, what ends up happening is any negative thing usually runs on silence. Whether it's people having their feelings hurt, bullying, stealing. You ever see like people get scammed in these Ponzi schemes, and a person been around scamming people for like 30 years, and you're like, how the hell did you get away with scamming people for 30 years? Well, what happened is one person got scammed and they ain't tell nobody. Another person got scammed, they ain't tell anybody. They were embarrassed. They felt like, damn, I'm looking like such a dummy for getting scammed by this person. So they didn't say anything. So forth and so forth and so forth. And then the person been scamming people for 30 years now. Everybody just been quiet about it, just watching other people get scammed and going. But when somebody brings it up and says something, that's the last dollar that person ever gets. When somebody take them to court, put it on record. When somebody tries to go through the legal system to get their money back, when somebody shouts it to the rooftop, a lot of times that's the last dollar that person ever gets. It was that simple. So when we talk about things here in this forum, or you guys ask me questions, there are so many people got the same question you got that's going through the same thing. And you asking those questions is a way to free them and sometimes to get them the answers that they would have never asked for. So, you're doing them a service by doing that. Let's go in a little more about these relationships and some of the things that are making relationships so difficult. We talked about the third party cosigns that you can get. Well, I want to talk about the unlimited opportunity. So when people get in a relationship, and I don't remember exactly what this is in economics, but there's this idea of choices. So when you go to Costco, the way it's set up is and Sam's Club is pretty much the same way. The way it's set up is they give you an abundance of product, but a limited amount of choices. So if you go to Walmart and you look for ketchup, there's so many ketchup selections. You go to Kroger, you look for ketchup, so many ketchup selections, right? But if you go to Sam's Club or Costco, normally they're gonna have one or two. You look for oatmeal, they're gonna have one or two selection. And the reason why they do that is because if they want people to buy a whole lot of stuff, the best way to get people to do that is to have fewer selections. So people buy a whole lot of one thing. A lot of times people look and say, man, I want one of these ketchups. I can't really figure out which one I want. They see so many of them that they end up not buying anything. This is a real thing. If you know you can only buy this one or two ketchups, you're like, I don't like this one, I like this one. Boom. Relationships used to last more back in the past because it wasn't like you get with a girl tomorrow. You get on Instagram, you see 55 girls who are real people that live in neighborhoods that are a little farther away from you, maybe some other part of the city or another state, that you see these people and they talk to you. There's women get in a relationship with a dude and then you got 20, 30 dudes in your DMs. People you never seen before in real life. This is a new phenomenon that people are trying to manage. There is such a perception of an unlimited amount of opportunities that people feel like they are settling. People feel like they are missing out whenever they get into a relationship with anybody. So no matter how cool the person was, no matter how good the person was, no matter how nice the person was, normally what ends up happening is at some point in time, you get in this relationship and you start feeling like I'm playing myself because there's so much out here that I'm not benefiting off of. So the concept or the thought process of an unlimited amount of opportunities that you are not getting and not taking advantage of is one of the major reasons why you see people get into a relationship and immediately start getting antsy and becoming uncomfortable in that relationship. I could get anybody up. I could have anybody I want, but now, because, people start getting your DMs as soon as you post somebody. Yeah, I posted my new dude. Yeah, I posted my girl. Now you got people in your DMs like, wow, I always loved you. And you start thinking those people are viable options. And a lot of times they're not. They're just talking shit anyway. They don't really like you like that. So these are things you got to think about when you get on social media. These are things you got to think about when you're out there in the workplace, because now everybody works in some kind of fashion or whatever. And there are so many people who are really disrespectful in a way that they weren't back in the 1920s, back in the 1950s. You could just be at work and people just coming up to you, oh my gosh, you got somebody now? I always loved you. Yo, girl, I've been wanting to be with you. And now you think, dang, I have all these options that I didn't know I had when I picked this person. But when you get single again, funny how all them options dissipate. People that was making all their promises, girl, I'll take you to anywhere you want to go. We're going to go to Jamaica on a private. And then as soon as you're like, I'm single again, they're like, yeah, you want to come over Netflix and chill? I'm trying to smash something. The same girl that was talking all that trash, now she over here like, yeah, just send me some money. And then, it's a whole different ball game than it was whenever you were in a relationship. And this is what people keep figuring out when they're single. Unfortunately, they forget about it when they're in a relationship. So another thing you're going to see a lot is people make quick connections now. Um, this is something that people did back in the past where you didn't have long courtships, but most of the time what ended up happening was you got into a relationship with somebody you grew up with, you got a relationship with somebody you lived in that neighborhood with, you got a relationship with somebody that you already had some amount of connection with. And now you get in relationships with people that you ain't met never one day in your life, and within a year you marrying them, getting engaged, trying to make stuff happen, as far as like living together, having kids, all of that. You doing everything, and you don't even know the person really. And now you start saying, "Oh man, they were totally different than what I thought they were. I thought they were a good person, but they turned out to be a liar. They're a narcissist. They got 6 kids that I didn't know about. They've been to jail 2 or 3 times. They right now on the lam on a murder." Back in the past, people didn't have to worry about that because you dated somebody in most cases and married somebody that you lived within 10 to 20 miles of. Like that was the max. They 20 miles away. That's the max. They got family members they got friends that they went to the same high school. Everything was similar, and y'all grew up right around each other. Y'all went to the same church. So what can you hide? If you know me since I was 6 years old, what lie can I really tell you that you couldn't just go and figure out? Yeah, girl, I graduated magna cum laude from Harvard, and oh, you did? Yeah, for sure. So if I call your brother right now, or I call your aunt right now, they gonna confirm that? Well, I mean, maybe it wasn't Harvard, it was Briscoe Community College, but same difference. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can't, it's harder to make up lies when they have a foundation. And it's harder to treat people a certain way when you have a foundation. And that's another thing we gotta think about. The way the world is now, we deal with people and we have no outside foundation other than just knowing each other. It's not like, you know my mama, I know your mama. You know my grandma, I know your grandma. It's not like we go to the same church and been going to the same church for years. So now, if I do you dirty, I just do you dirty. And nothing else is involved in that. It used to be a time where if I do you dirty in our relationship, you can call my grandma. You can call my daddy. If you do me dirty in a relationship, I can call your mama. I can call your grandfather. I can call your uncles. I can call your dad. I could call people in your family and they know me already. They knew me before me and you ever got together. They knew my family. Now our families sit around and they work together to keep the relationship going. And they hold us accountable. Now we live in a situation where most of the time you don't live next to no family. The people you're talking to, they don't live next to no family. Y'all don't know each other like that. Y'all don't have any outside friends or family members that are connected to both of you. So your family take your side, my family take my side. I do whatever I want to you, and then I just go off somewhere. You do whatever you want to me, and you just go off somewhere. So when we look at relationships now, the solution is we got to start changing the way we interact with each other. The utility isn't there anymore. So now when you deal with people, you got to create more of an emotional and personal connection, or the relationship isn't going to work out. It's not going to work. Like Latasha just said, the sense of community is gone. So you too have to create your own community with each other where you respect and love each other. If you're going to get in a relationship with somebody, you can't be listening to these social media people talking about what's he doing for me, what's she bringing to the table. A lot of times it's going to be nothing. A lot of times you're going to be in a situation where the two of you can't really do anything for each other that you can write down on paper. You got a good ass job and making good money. You can cook and clean and do all that stuff for yourself. Both of y'all just in a position where y'all got it figured out because the world has changed. So at that point, what's the purpose of getting in a relationship? Most of the time, people say, well, there is none. Then they sitting on the couch by themselves trying to watch a rom-com, laughing at the comedy movie, looking around. Yo, I don't even got nobody to laugh for. Now I'm crying. You see what I'm saying? Going to Christmas and dinners and stuff like that, and they don't have nobody with them. And this is why people start trying to pick somebody up at that moment. This is when they see the utility of a relationship. That's why they got cuffing season right around now. Because people don't want to go to Thanksgiving alone. They don't want to go to Christmas alone. They don't want to go to New Year's alone. They don't want to be alone on Valentine's Day. This is when you start thinking about, oh yeah, this is why I wanted somebody. Not to pay my bills, but I wanted somebody to have at Thanksgiving. I wanted somebody to have at Christmas. This is when it starts mattering. But your whole life you've been dating like somebody who needed somebody to pay your bills. Your whole life you've been dating like somebody who needed somebody to cook all your meals. You've been dating like somebody who needed somebody to clean the house. And since that utility's not there, that's what you run into. When you get on this social media, this is something you gotta, when you get your relationship, get up off this social media, man. Don't be on this social media watching everybody else's relationship. Oh, they got this and they got that and do and all this kind of stuff. That's what they doing. Focus on your relationship. Focus on your life. Stop letting somebody tell you that you settling for this person and you should have that and you should have. They don't know what the hell you should have. When do I sit here and tell you you settling for somebody and oh, get this person and get that person? Get who you want to get. Get what works for you. Understand what you need in a relationship, and that's what you pursue. Don't let nobody tell you you got to get somebody that can cook when you're a gourmet chef and you don't even want nobody cooking for you. Don't let nobody tell you that you got to get somebody that can pay all your bills when you over here making mid-six figures. You got to look at it from that perspective of how do I date somebody that I actually can connect with in real life? Because that's what people used to do. Even though there was utility there, it was a lifetime connection. I'm with this person because I want to have somebody that we build this together. We need each other. Now you got people that they want to have two totally separate situations, and they want somebody just to add to their situation. That's the whole concept of people. What do you bring to the table? What do you do for me? If you ain't paying my bills, we just roommates. So you smashing your roommates? You expect your roommate to come to the hospital with you if you get sick, take days off work to take care of your goofy ass? That's what you really think? People don't get it. They sit here and they let somebody tell them certain things. And they think, yeah, this is what a relationship is in its totality. But in reality, a relationship is about the bond that the two of you share. Y'all gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs, y'all gonna gain weight, lose weight, gain money, lose money, y'all gonna get sick, y'all gonna be healthy. And these are the times where having each other makes the most difference. It's not gonna be about the money. It's not gonna be about the trips. It's not, because you could take them by yourself. It's not going to be about all that. It's going to be about, can y'all really connect with each other? And so many people nowadays really just don't think like that because they're looking for something that they saw on TV, something they saw on social media, and they expect somebody to come into a relationship with them and make them whole. You got to be a whole person on your own. And when somebody come into a relationship with you, now y'all put two whole people together and y'all can conquer the world. This is why people would start out with nothing and raise families where the next generation would be 10 times better off. Like if I look at my mother and I look at my father and I look at where they came from and what they were able to do with their children, that was the foundation of their parents. Like my mom grew up, oh, country ass Ohio town. No disrespect to people from my family that's in this that's from that town. Y'all might be watching, man, F you. Y'all get what I'm saying. Grew up out in the country. Ran track with no shoes on. I know you don't want me to tell that story, but I think it's a good story. My dad sharecropping in Alabama at one time, upgraded to the projects, and they were able to raise children that got educated. They were able to be in this because their parents made them better off because they had a foundation for them to be able to grow on. They had a family structure that looked out for them and pushed them ahead. People have told us now, well, since you can do so many things by yourself, you don't really need a family structure. People and structures look differently now. Even when you got people who got mixed families, it don't matter. Like, and I want y'all to understand this: just because you got kids by one person and y'all broke up and whatever the case may be, that doesn't mean that y'all can't build family structures now. People like to make it like, oh, if you make one mistake and, or if things don't go, I don't want to say kid mistake, but, y'all do something that didn't necessarily work out, it's over. It ain't over. Y'all can build your own family structure. People used to do that back in the day, they just don't talk about it. People used to get divorced and you'd have families that would get together and raise kids. You'd have people that when you get your new person, you get your new person, and we actually do this as a collective. That did happen. That still happens in a lot of other countries. A lot of them are third world where something happens to one person and then everybody still get together and do stuff. But now we live in this world where if it ain't perfect, it's not worth it. It ain't perfect. Forget this. Everybody wants to have the perfect relationship according to what they see on social media. And if their relationship is not that, then forget it. Everybody wants to down people. It's like, and I want to get into this a little bit. It's like that Cam Newton thing I was seeing where he got all the kids and the baby mamas, and everybody want to just dog the guy. Oh, he irresponsible, and he's this and he's that. It's like, okay, he's got the kids now. What's his name? Nick Cannon. He's got the kids now. They had little Mo on there. She had a few husbands and got some kids. They got some other ladies, Lauryn Hill, people like that. They got multiple kids. Some of them got multiple baby daddies. They look at the people, and I know I'm gonna get heat for this, but you look at the people and you say, okay, you did this, so it's like your family is worthless. You look at people, they got multiple kids by multiple people, and it's like your family is now worthless. And it can't be redeemed or you can't do nothing with it. Y'all don't have to it doesn't have to be a broken home just because you and whoever you got with before are not together and y'all build new relationships. Y'all make the home broken. Because if one person is fighting in a war in Afghanistan and not there every day, we don't call that a broken home. We're like, well, they ain't in a home. They're married, but they're not in a home. Is that person a deadbeat and a bad father? Is the mother stupid for marrying somebody who was in the military? Oh, why you marry somebody in the military? He ain't there with your kids all the time. Yeah, but they do everything they can to connect the person with the kids. They do everything they can to make the situation work. So when I look at that, like when people like talk about these different people, and I'm like, you don't know if these people are cooperative with each other and they've created a situation where their kids can have a better life regardless of whether they're together or not. And this is like, once again, when I talk about relationships, everybody is so busy downing each other now and trying to figure out every way to discredit each other that we don't even try to build relationships that work anymore. We don't even try to make the best out of what we had. A lot of people back in the day used to make the best out of a situation. Man, your husband died. Somebody else might marry you and take care of the kids or whatever, and your family get together and y'all all have like a different situation where your mother might be doing stuff for the new person that you're married to. Their mom doing for you. The person who died, their family doing stuff for both of y'all just because the kids are involved. Now we got to think, these my kids. this my kid and this yours and this, you know, this attitude that we have in life now is everybody is trying to be right. Everybody's trying to feel like they won. Everybody's trying to find a way to down and discredit somebody else, use and abuse each other. And I'm not saying it was never like that before, but it wasn't celebrated. Now talking down on somebody else's family is celebrated. Now talking down on each other and disrespecting each other, this is especially for men and women, now getting on forums and disrespecting each other. And for a long time it's been like that, but it's celebrated. It's celebrated to get on here and say mean ass shit. It's celebrated to get on here and dog women out. It's celebrated. Not just to point out things that you've had happen in your life, not just to say, okay, here's some things that you might run into with a man or a woman, but to sit here and just dog each other out is celebrated. How do you build strong relationships in that environment where it's cool to dog each other out? Where it's cool to dog everybody else's family out? Where it's cool to say people or to say certain kids shouldn't even be here? Because that's what you're saying. You know, they're like, oh, you shouldn't have had all these kids. So which one shouldn't be here? You know, that's cool to say to people now. And I think, how do we build relationships when that's the baseline? Where it's cool to say somebody's life doesn't really have any value. Just because of how they came in the world, or because their parents not together, or to have an expectation. We use statistics and stuff like that when they don't even really know what the family situation is. So I think, you know, these are things we got to think about. Let's go back into the comments. You seem like the type of dude that's not easily persuaded into something spontaneous. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nah, I'm really not easily persuaded into no. I like to say no. It depends on what it is. Like if it's something cool that I really want to do, then I'll do it. But I'm quick to say no because, you know, what I learned in my life is if you don't want to do something, just don't do it. Hey, before I leave, y'all make sure y'all hit my Cash App, Ask Chazz. Make sure y'all hit that. Interesting. How do you date for companionship? Hopefully I answered that on there. You know, when you're in a relationship, just date people. When you meet people, start dating people based on the fact that y'all got something in common. Start dating people based on the fact that you just want to get to know somebody. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just want to I'm not getting nothing out of this. I just want to get to know you. You get to know me. You somebody, you seem cool. I'm not dating you. I'm not trying to get nothing out of this. If you start doing that, you'll be surprised. A lot of times in life, if you go into a situation expecting nothing, you might gain everything. Just going in, getting. It's just like when you meet friends on the street. Like I talk to people. This is something I haven't even talked about a lot. I got a business deal one time. I'm not gonna say who the person was or nothing like that, but I got a business deal one time. And the way I got this business deal, I was just sitting there chilling. I'm not trying to think of nothing. And we all outside of the gym. Everybody outside the gym. I'm sitting on my car. You know how you get done at the gym, you don't really feel like going home right then. You tired as hell, but you don't really feel like going home. I'm sitting there talking to dude. I don't know who this man is. I'm just talking to people. You know what I mean? Just having a conversation. I'm not trying to get nothing out of it. I don't know what he's driving. None of that. We just talking. And there's a couple people just sitting around talking. I'm incorporating people, just having a good time. And dude was like, man, you cool as hell, you know, give me his business card. You know, it became a good business deal for me, good opportunity. Nothing, I wasn't trying to gain anything. I didn't know who the person was. A lot of times in life, we talk to people because we're trying to gain something out of it. We get in relationships with people because we want to get. And so for that reason, we never find people that we're really compatible with. Because if you talk to somebody because of what car they drive, what they look like, and you only talk to people who you think look the most top notch, most of the time you never really get to connect with people. You're not gonna get companionship. Excuse me. Hypothetical question: how to respond to getting enticed into something naughty by your lady alone at an area other than your house where no one is around? Uh, Shoot. I mean, if you don't want to do it, just be like, yo, I ain't with it. You know, if you don't want to do it, all you gotta do is like, let's do this at home. If somebody really mess with you and you tell them what your boundary is, they'll respect it. If you don't want to do something in a certain place or whatever, for whatever reason, maybe you don't want to go to jail. Understandable. Uh, if a person respects you when you say, you know what, let's just do it at the crib because I don't like to do stuff in public, they'll respect you. If they don't respect that boundary, it's going to be some more boundaries down the road they don't respect. Like, if somebody don't respect your boundaries up front, there are going to be some more boundaries down the road that they don't respect. In love, what's up? All right, if that's all we got, once again, thank you guys for coming out. Make sure y'all leave in the comment section stuff y'all like for me to talk about. So like anything y'all want me to talk about, current events or something like that, you can come back on the live and leave a comment or whatever, and or you can leave one right here now, and just let me know what you'd like to see me talk about. Once again, it's your man, Chazz Ellis. For some of y'all that haven't liked and subscribed, subscribe because I'm back. Y'all gonna see a lot more of me. God willing, and the creek don't rise. Peace.